Hi everybody, this time I would like to show you another camera from my vintage cameras collection, and that would be the Canonet QL17 from Canon. It's a rangefinder camera. However, it's a very high level camera for that time, because it has a fixed lens, a fixed 40mm lens with a maximum aperture on this version of 1.7, and it has, that's the 17 part in the name, and the QL part is referring to the quick loading mechanism, and that's something that the camera has. I can't show you because I think I have a film inside. It's a mechanism that supposedly helps you put in a new film, because you just put it in, close the lid on the back, and there is this system inside that leads the film into the right place. You don't have to slide the end of the film into some spool or something like that. So this is the camera. The camera, as I said, is a rangefinder camera, and as you see here, the throw on the camera is really short. It goes from 0.8 meters to 5 meters and then straight to infinity, and it's accurate, but it's really slow, and that makes it quite fast to focus. The frame for the rangefinder, for the settings, is quite bright, and actually you can see it. Let me try to get this closer here. The camera may not focus. No, it won't focus, but it's kind of bright, even if the camera is quite old, but it works really nicely. What else can I say about this camera? It's battery operated. It has an automatic setting that will set the aperture for you, so you have to set the speed and the aperture will be set accordingly. I prefer it the other way around, to be quite honest, but still it's a feature, and it works pretty well, with one exception, and I've been thinking of having this fixed due to the fact that the batteries you use in this kind of camera used to be mercury based, and they're not legal anymore, so you can't buy them anymore. And don't trust me on that, but there's a difference in voltage between the ones that fit into this camera right now and the ones that used to fit, the mercury based ones. So you put in a modern battery, and the indicator will show, don't know if you can see it, the indicator will show that the battery is full, but there is going to be a defect in the metering. What I've been told is possible, I haven't managed to have it done yet, but what I've been told is possible is have somebody go basically into the electronics and reset it in a way that the new voltage, the current voltage, will be reflected in the measurements. Otherwise you will have to guess a little bit, and maybe in the end you will end up using a light meter still. The quality of the lens is really great. It's pretty sharp. It's a sharp lens. It's being a 1.7 at 40 millimeters, it can give you some decent bokeh, so you can play with the depth of field. It has, even here, don't let me tell you something wrong, but I think it has 4 blades or 3 blades, so the bokeh balls are not going to be perfectly round or anything. But on the other hand, being an old camera, there's this fascination about it, and it's really good. In terms of quality, I've been told that there are 2 versions: the ones built in Japan, made in Japan, and the ones made in Taiwan. This one's made in Taiwan. I've heard that the other ones feel more solid. I have to say that this one feels pretty solid. There's nothing I can complain about. And even all the parts are feeling quite good. You know, it's everything is in place and everything is as it should be. The camera has a hot shoe. The camera has also a connection for a sync port. Maybe no, actually you flip it down. Oh yeah, you flip it down like this, and it has a battery check. And to save battery, you usually put it onto a fixed aperture instead of leaving it on A, because when you put it onto an aperture, it stops measuring. And actually, if you want to photograph with a specific aperture, you will have to meter manually. Then you have the settings for the sensitivity of the film. I have a 100 ISO film inside the camera now. And then you have the speed settings that range from B, like bulb mode, up to 1/500th of a second. Since it's a leaf shutter, that's a mechanical problem, so these cameras don't go any faster than that usually, which can represent a problem if you have a very fast film inside. You can't pull the aperture to the open end because the camera is just not fast enough. You have a self timer. Basically all the controls of the camera are in the lens or around the lens. So you have the self timer here, you have this one to set the film speed, you have the aperture ring with the automatic position, and you have the speed ring up here in front, and then you have the ring for the metering, for the rangefinder. The camera is really cool. It's nice and small and feels very sturdy. Oh, and it has this thing is an indicator that tells you if a film is loaded, or actually no, if the shutter is cocked. So it has a few features that for that time are kind of special. If you consider that time you had Leicas, maybe an M5 or something like that. Not that I really want to compare them, but these little cameras have some really nice features, and you can get them decently cheap, and they're quite fun to use. And I would say if you want to get into rangefinders, or if you are into rangefinders and want to add something to your collection, this is definitely a way to go, because the lens is exceptionally good. It has some nice little things, like for example, the window for the light meter is inside the filter ring. So if you put on a filter, whichever filter that is, the reduction of light getting into the lens will be considered in the metering, assuming that you have it checked for the voltage, so the metering is correct. There's not much else I can say about this. I enjoy it. I've been enjoying it for a few years now, and if you're into this kind of camera, you can get it for very little money, and it's definitely a camera worth buying. Thank you very much, and see you back soon with my other videos.